Hello, my name is Daniel Lambert. We need to talk about the put call parity. We need to be talking about the fiduciary call and the protective put. So now, here is this. As we can see in our mind maps for CFA level 1, there are certain strategies when it comes to options, when it comes to call options and put options. And this strategy we'll be talking about is the put call parity. So now, what do we have in mind? There's two things, the protective put and the fiduciary call. Protective put consists of two different things. First of all, owning an asset worth as zero. Owning an asset worth as zero. And secondly, there's buying a put option on this very asset. Buying a put option on this asset worth P0, which gives us this. Like, we need to understand the value, we need to understand the profit we can make or the loss we can incur, and this is this protective put. So if we consider the underlying asset takes on any value, and like it's going to be this way. This is the line indicating, it's a straight line of course, indicating the value of the underlying asset. So if the underlying asset, which is denoted by ST, takes on this value, this is just this, that's the line indicating the value of the underlying asset. But then there's the long put. There's the right. The holder is given the right, not the obligation, but the right to sell this this underlying asset at X, at capital X. So what do we have now? It is, if we consider, if this is X here, X again, let's just draw the line here and draw the line there, and this is the value of the long put. The long put. So we buy the right. The holder has the right, not the obligation, but the right to sell the underlying asset, which is a share most commonly. So if we just add those two things, let me try to put it like in a green color, if I can do this. What's the sum? What's the sum of those two values? It is this. It goes here and then right there. So the green line indicates the value of this strategy of the protective put, giving the underlying asset plus the long put, which is denoted by the green line now. So we need to understand the green line as the first strategy, the protective put. Now, talking about the put call parity, there's a second thing. There's the fiduciary call. Fiduciary call consists of two things as well. Buying a call option on the asset, on this very asset we've been talking about in the first place, the protective put. Buying a call option on this asset, and secondly, buying a zero coupon bond without any risk at all. Buying a zero coupon bond with a face value of X, like the exercise price X we've been talking about in the first place concerning the long put and of course the long call, and buying a zero coupon bond with this face value maturing at time T. So again, we need to think about what's this, like what's the value? What's the value of this? If we consider it in a second diagram, the fiduciary call, in a second diagram, what would this be? First of all, there's the long call. The long call, I have to, yes, why not doing it here? The long call can be drawn this way, couldn't it? Because the holder of the call has the right, not the obligation, but the right to buy the underlying assets at X, at capital X. So giving this line, giving the green line, and of course again, there's the second thing. There is buying the bond. And buying the bond in period capital T gives us the value of X. But now we have to understand the value of right now. It is something different. It is something different. So if we draw the line of this coupon, it is the following. It is this. If this denotes X, capital X, here, then it is this way. Yes. So this is the risk-free bond. And again, we need to have the sum. We need to have the sum of those two lines. And I will try to, let's see, why not putting it red? I'll try to do this in red now. And the sum gives us this, the red line. So the fiduciary call can be denoted, can be drawn this way with the red line. So all in all, if we have the option, first the option and secondly the bond, this is the value of the fiduciary call. Now what's astonishing about it, the protective put denoted with the green line as well as the fiduciary call denoted with the red one is the same value at time t, is the same value at time t. So two things giving us the same value at time t need to be equal today as well. That's important about it. Again, if there's two things, if there's two strategies giving the same value at time t, capital T, they of course have the same value right now at time 0. So that's why this equation holds. That's why this equation holds. S0 plus P0 is equal to C0 plus X divided by 1 plus R to the power of T. So the value of the protective put right now equals the value of the fiduciary call right now, giving us this equation and giving us some very important things to understand. So one last thing about it. If the exercise price, say, is given by $1,000 or 1,000 euros or 1,000 yen, I don't know, and it expires, the call expires, and the put expires in, say, 2 years. Let's have capital T equal to 2, and the interest rate is going to be 5%. And S0 is, let's have $900 or 900 euros, I don't know. So what can we do about it? We can say that giving those numbers, we can know the difference. We can know the difference between the two options. So the difference between the two options is P0 minus C0. If we all put it in this formula, we see, and we can see, that P0 minus C0 is equal to the sum or the difference of all those numbers coming into this formula. So what's important to understand concerning when it comes to put call parity is that we don't know the exact value of the call option, and we don't know the exact value of the put option either, but we know the difference. We know the difference of those two values. That's the important thing. Thanks for watching. Thank you for listening.